Unafraid show. Reister or wrong, your man is here with you, George Reister. Thank you guys for joining me today. As usual, this will be the greatest Unafraid show of all time. Every day we make it greater, making the Unafraid great again. What we got up for you guys today is Greg Schiano. Were Tennessee fans wrong for essentially throwing a nuclear bomb on Greg Schiano to prevent him from being the newest head coach at Tennessee? Crabtree and Talib, Oakland Raiders, Denver Broncos, fight broke out. Talked about it yesterday a little bit. They both got suspended for 2 games, and it makes no sense to me. I can't possibly understand this. And the Pac-12 final power rankings, and also how the hell do all these teams plan on filling these coaching positions? You got so many big time programs that don't have coaches. Guess where they got to go? The scratch and dent bin. And guess why guys are in the scratch and dent bin? Because they're scratch and dent bin coaches. Next thing up, but where we're going to start though is, first of all, I want to say again, I said it yesterday, but I just want to tell everybody how excited I am about this Prince Harry and Meghan Markle marriage that's getting ready to happen. I've never been in on royal weddings. However, I'm in on this one. I cannot deny it. I am happy. I am excited. I don't know what the hell's going on. Is it probably because Meghan Markle's black and we're going to have a black? Actually, she's not going to be a princess. She's going to be a Duchess of Sussex. But either way, still exciting, right? Super excited about that. I just want to say it like she's like a girl from LA. Like this could happen to anybody. So this is like the Pretty Woman version of princesses. Like you usually have to grow up in a princess family or a royal family to get to be a princess or a duchess or whatever the hell she's going to be. But guess what? She made it. She made it. Anybody that likes Pretty Woman is going to love this story. Even though like she's not a prostitute or any of that thing. Like she actually came from a really good family. I read up about her over the last day. I was like, damn, okay, Meghan Markle, I didn't know you was doing all that. But now to get down to business, get down to the sports business that we care about. Because, yes, we care about Prince Harry. Yes, we care about Meghan Markle, this great marriage, which I'm going to constantly be talking about, apparently. The biggest question is, are Tennessee fans wrong for throwing a nuclear bomb on Greg Schiano? And I was thinking about this. And because the landscape of college football on how they make hirings has clearly been affected by this. Like this is something new. Like this is not the way things used to be where you used to have to run things by the boosters and that was it. No. Nowadays you have to run it by the mob. You got to run it by us, the fans. You got to run it by Twitter. Make sure that you are hiring the right guy that's going to energize the fan base and make sure they don't have a lot of dirt on him. So here is what essentially happened to Greg Schiano. He was torpedoed by by some people, whether you call Sarah Huckabee Sanders, whether you call it Clay Travis, whether you call it people in the House of Representatives, by those people. And the thing that was brought up was whether he was involved or not in the sexual assault allegations on some kids and the ones that were proven, unproven, whatever, over at Penn State. So that was brought up. And that got me to thinking because I know, so I've known Clay Travis for a while. And here's what I think, right? Here's what I think is I started thinking, I'm like, wow, if this man loves Tennessee football half as much as I love my Oregon Ducks, he was kind of in an impossible situation given the time frame because Tennessee's been awful for at least 10 years. I mean, just abject failure. They've turned into a dumpster fire. And now they came to go hire a new coach. They're at a critical time. And I will tell you, if I had been spending my money, donating my money, buying my kids gear, buying season tickets, you're not going to get me to just sit back and shut up. Like, I'm not going to do it. Like, even if it were my Oregon Ducks, like, I'm not going to sit back and shut up. Like, think about this. when something breaks at your house, right? Let's say you rent an apartment. If you rent an apartment and the toilet breaks, are you just going to sit there and shut up, or the shower breaks? You're going to sit there and shut up and not bother the landlord? Or are you going to make noise the way the landlord gets a little bothered and upset? You guys make sure you guys like the feed, share the feed. You're watching Unafraid, swipe up, share the feed. Are you going to sit there and be quiet if the landlord is not fixing your property? No, you're not. You're going to make noise. Are you, if you're a husband and you don't fix the shower, you don't fix the doorknob, you don't fix that, is your wife going to shut up about it? No. So the idea that fans are going to sit back and shut up, those days are over. And if it were my Oregon Ducks instead of the Tennessee Volunteers, I like to say I'm above throwing a nuclear bomb on a candidate who I thought was absolutely awful. However, I saw how my Duck fans reacted about Helfrich nearly tanking the program, and I saw how you reacted the way to Willie Taggart when Herbert was hurt. So I saw that. So we're not going to act like all these other fan bases are above what Tennessee did, because you guys would do it too. And truth be told, like, I got so many people, I couldn't understand, right, why so many people came to the defense of Greg Schiano as a head coach, yet nobody was knocking down his door besides Tennessee. Nobody was knocking down his door. I get that it felt ugly that they brought up the Sandusky stuff and the third-hand information, which I do agree. It's third-hand information. Like, you cannot say whether this man was or was not involved, and this probably shouldn't prevent him from getting a job, right? Third-hand information. I heard a guy who told me. Yeah, that shouldn't prevent you from getting a job. But let's just be real about Greg Schiano as the head coach, because everybody's wants to throw around this, oh, he's such a great head coach. No, he's not. Some idiot even tweeted me on Twitter and said, let me remind you, Rutgers was a glorified JUCO before Schiano turned them into winners in 2 years. Sumlin hasn't and can't win. Bielema ruined Arkansas. Graham never won 8+ games. Riley had 2 winning seasons at Oregon State out of 12. Check your research. And I'm like, people just say things. Like, you can say all you want to, it doesn't make it true. Like, you can say things till you're blue in the face. It doesn't make it true. Greg Schiano, Rutgers, first 5 seasons, 2 wins, 1 win, 5, 4, 7. Like, come on. Like, let's not act like this dude was like a world beater and like turn some magical program around like you see Scott Frost did at UCF, at University of Central Florida. He took a team that was 0-12. Now they're undefeated in 2 years. That's not what Greg Schiano did at Rutgers. So let's not act like that's what he did. When he was with the Miami Dolphins, what did he do? He alienated his entire team. He caused a mutiny. He leaked personal information about his quarterback, Josh Freeman. Like, let's not act like Greg Schiano is not a defensive coordinator. He's a person who needs to be managed, not a manager. Like, let's not act like that this dude is something that he's not. I get that it feels ugly that Tennessee pulled out a nuclear bomb on Greg Schiano. But given the time frame that they were trying to hire this dude, they weren't left with very many options. Does it feel ugly? Yes, it does feel ugly. But did they do what they had to do? Yeah, because I will admit, I wouldn't want Greg Schiano coaching my team. I wouldn't. And it's not because he's a bad person. If Willie Taggart wanted to bring him in to be the defensive coordinator and he was successful, I would take him. But as my head coach, nope, nope, nope. He needs a manager. He's not a manager. He needs a manager. And I think that it's interesting, though, the thing that we're getting to is that college football teams now, instead of just going to the boosters, you have to go to the mob. Like, you have to make sure that not only are the boosters happy, But you have to make sure that the fans are happy now, because fans have finally figured out that they can speak with their dollars, they can speak with their attendance, they can speak with their voices. And they have power. And now everybody's listening to it. And now everybody is. It all started when people started overreacting to the mob. People get upset about something. Oh, we have to change everything. No, people forget they'll be outraged about something tomorrow. They will be. So nowadays, when you see college coaches being interviewed and candidates being, before they announce who they're going to hire, you're going to see some leaks. Because what used to happen is they used to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to these coaching firms, to these search firms. And then the search firms would back channel, talk to the coaches and interview them, and gauge their interest and all that. And the whole point of that was to ensure that not everybody knew. That way if you got turned down, it was private. The way the school that the guy was at didn't find out or didn't know quite as much, their fan base wasn't upset. Those days are over, my friend, because if the angry mob does not want your head coach, they will not have your head coach. And then they won't show up for your head coach unless your head coach starts winning. That's the truth. I mean, if you were Tennessee fans, or you were fans of your university and they were tanking the university for as long as Tennessee has, wouldn't you be upset? You keep spending your money. Think about this. You keep spending your money, your kids' money, spending all your time going to these games, showing up, and they won't win. Yeah, pass. Yeah, pass on that. That eventually gets frustrating, because I know this. Let's take this for example. My kid plays baseball, and we pay for travel baseball. If he's not getting the proper coaching and he's not getting the proper the proper instruction or being treated unfairly, guess what? A change has to be made. Change has to be made, because I'm not leaving my college program. I'm not leaving Oregon. Coach got to go before I go. Everybody's got to go. Because no one person is bigger than the program. Wasn't Chip Kelly at Oregon? Wasn't Penn State wasn't Joe Paterno at Penn State once they found out? Once enough people found out? Yep, nobody's bigger. Everybody can go if you're going to hurt the program. But the question is, how are they going to fill all these jobs at all these programs, though? I mean, because you got Arizona State open, Nebraska open, Mississippi State, Rice, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and maybe Florida State. So how on earth can you fill these jobs? From the scratch and dent bin, that's where. Because I'm hearing like crazy names thrown out. Rick Neuheisel. You're going to bring Rick Neuheisel out of retirement to possibly coach Arizona State? Excuse me? Let's be real here. Like, we're pulling coaches out of the scratch and dent bin. Before, if I were an athletic director and I have a reasonable team like Arizona State, before I pull somebody out of the scratch and dent bin, I am going to hire a young head coach who's being successful at a lower program. Like, I'm going to go hire Blake Anderson at Arkansas State. I'm going to hire Scott Satterfield at Appalachian State. I'm going to give Pep Hamilton. I'm going to kick the tires on Pep Hamilton, who's the Michigan pass game coordinator. Coached in the NFL for a long time. Well-known coordinator. That's what I'm doing. Because there's no way in hell I'm pulling out a Dennis Erickson, Rick Neuheisel, like just somebody who is just, yeah. I'm not even pulling out a David Cutcliffe, who's over at Duke. I'm just not. Just not. Like, that's like, get you some young blood. Sean McVay has shown you that they can win with the Rams. They've shown you that they can win. They've shown you with Scott Frost that the young guys can win at University of Central Florida. They didn't want to hire him at first. Willie Taggart showing you young guys can win. Guys with not a ton of coaching experience. That's just what it is. Stop going to the scratch and dent bin to hire your coaches. Hire some young, new talent. Or get somebody who you know is going to win. I mean, look at, let's say if you are Tennessee. Who are you going to call? Like, stop playing around. Just call Lane Kiffin. He wants you back. Your ex wants you back. Get them. Get him. He wants you back. He'll take you back. He's been trolling you on Twitter. Take him back. Like, let's stop acting like something else. Yep. Patrick Sims, you are right, sir. Somebody will settle for the hoopty. They will. They'll settle for the car out of the scratch and dent bin. Doesn't make sense to me at all. Another thing that doesn't make sense to me that came down the wire yesterday is what ended up happening with the fight between Michael Crabtree and Aqib Talib. Both guys got suspended for 2 games. Talked about this a little bit yesterday. They got in a fight because Aqib Talib again snatched Michael Crabtree's chain while they're playing a game. So he wears a necklace underneath his collar, which this time apparently reports say he taped down because Aqib still went in there and snatched his chain. So at what point in time? So mind you, we did it last year, came back and did it again. And this time Crabtree had to respond. Like, he had no choice. Like, what do you expect the man to do? Somebody tries to punk you, try to embarrass you, and intimidate you publicly, and you are a public figure. You don't have in a game that is physical. Mind you, this is not regular life. Like, this is imaginary football world. Somebody does that, and you're doing a physical sport. You have no choice but to respond. Like, you can't just sit there and let this happen, because this is the NFL. And what happens is this. Let me make you understand very clear what the NFL locker room is like. It is like you have a pack of wolves. You got alphas, you got betas. Everybody or let's say they're all alphas. Everybody amongst those alphas, everybody's still climbing to the top to be the top dog. Everybody wants to be number 1 in the locker room, like sitting on top of the pedestal. Even if it's not just out there in the open, if that's what they're trying to do, it's subconscious. Like, you have no choice. This is what makes you great at what you do. Everybody's trying to be the best. You're clawing for the top. And so people poke people, see how they can go, see if they can get away with it. One person gets away with it. Oh, ooh, that's fun. I can poke that person too. So if Michael Crabtree had allowed Talib to take his chain, everybody else would have been trying to essentially punk Crabtree. And you cannot allow that. Because think about this. The NFL locker room, they are very unforgiving. I've been there. It is a rude, mean place. If you are a person who's going to let people violate your personal space and violate you as a human being, they will never, ever stop. I promise you. Like, this is not a place where you can have a civil discussion with people and just say, oh, yeah, it's all right. I posted a video probably about a week ago about a fight story where I had in the NFL locker room. There was a dude, wide receiver, just kept bothering me. I had a hurt back. Wasn't playing at that point in time. Just wouldn't leave me alone. I asked him, tried to talk to him civilly. Nope. Did that work? Nope. Had to fight him. Then he stopped. It's just the way it is. And then you suspend Michael Crabtree, but let's look at Aqib Talib, his history. June 2016, he shot himself out at a park while there was some fight or something going on. He ends up shooting himself. He missed the White House visit after the Broncos won the Super Bowl. He was suspended for 1 game in 2010 for violating the league's personal conduct policy after a pre-trial program for an alleged assault where he assaulted a cab driver. Okay. One misunderstanding. Okay, with the cab driver. All right. Yeah, no. 2011. He faced felony charges and assault with a deadly weapon after an altercation which he was accused of firing shots and trying to pistol whip his sister's live-in boyfriend. But charges were dropped. I get that, though. I give him a little bit of a pass for that one because Apparently, the dude was beating on his sister. Bruh, I'm not mad at you. If you beat the dude who beat your sister, sorry, he had it coming. He's lucky to be alive. Talib, I know you guys are upset because I'm in on some vigilante justice, but some things are just right and some things are just wrong. You beat my sister, you got to come see me. You do. Talib was suspended for 4 games during 2012 for violating the league's violating the league's policy on performance-enhancing drugs. Then in 2015, he was suspended for poking Dwayne Allen, Colts tight end, in the eye on purpose on national television. And this is the dude that you give the exact same punishment to as Crabtree, who hasn't been in trouble. Like, that's insanity. Like, you expected, the league apparently expected Crabtree to act civilly when he's got an uncivilized person attacking him. I don't get it. I don't get it. Because you're not going to get me to respond civilly when you start some uncivilized behavior. And I have to go against you. Like, it's different if I can just leave the area, or I can, make a smart guy, mature, 4 kids, wife, mortgage decision. Yeah. But at the point in time where that's not one of the options, yeah, nah. You got to come see this. You have to come see this. You got to come catch this fade, buddy. You have to. Otherwise, this is a never-ending cycle. It will never, ever stop. But back real quick to the job openings with college football. Who would I take if I'm a college football fan? Who do I want besides guys from the scratch and dent bin? I want Kevin Sumlin. Never won less than 8 games in a season till this year because he didn't get a chance to finish the season. Won 7. Mike Norvell over at Memphis. He's out there winning. I don't know, and people are going to say that it was just a Fuentes guys or whatever. Nah, the dude is winning. Pep Hamilton, I like him. Hasn't been a head coach yet. Want him. Rick Neuheisel, nope, sorry. Derek Mason, who's over at Vanderbilt. I'm kind of iffy on him because Vanderbilt is not a university that can compete in the SEC like Alabama, Florida, all these schools, right? So while he did a really good job last year, this year they sucked. So kind of out on him right now. I need him to have another good season before I hire him. I know it feels bad, but, these are the breaks. I like Blake Anderson at Arkansas State. I like Scott Satterfield at Appalachian State. Obviously, Scott Frost, but there's only so many places that he's going to go because he's in demand right now. He could stay at UCF if he doesn't get a job or an offer that he wants. That's the way I'm looking at this coaching search. Like, I'm not just taking anybody. The 2 rules of firing a coach, which I've said over and over and over again, and I wish I might actually write a manual about it at this point in time because people aren't listening. Number 1, you have to ask yourself at the end of every season, every coach needs to be evaluated. Every coach. And you have to ask 2 questions. The first question is there somebody that I can guaranteed get that will absolutely guaranteed do a better job than the guy I have now? I mean, like, if you're at, Texas A&M, you got Kevin Sumlin winning 8 games, but you can get, Nick Saban. Hell yeah, you take him. Absolutely, 100%. If you can get Chip Kelly, I'd take him too. I'd fire Kevin Sumlin. But if you can't guaranteed get somebody better, you keep your guy. The second thing that you do is, second thing you got to pay attention to is hope. Is there hope? Is there hope that the future is brighter than the past? So it doesn't matter whether you won the Super Bowl or whether you won 0 games. Can you walk into 17 to 19-year-old homes and 21-year-olds for JUCOs to 17 to 21-year-olds' homes and make them believe that the future is brighter than the past, and actually like make them believe it and buy into it. If you cannot do that, you need to be replaced as head coach. So those are the two questions that need to be answered. If either of them is not answered in the affirmative, then you need to replace your head coach. So 2 questions, that's it. Those are the only 2 things that you need to know before you fire a head coach. Can I guarantee get somebody better? And how is the hope? Like, where's the hope? Is there hope that the future is brighter than the past? It is simple. I mean, I don't know how people keep failing at this. Jeez Louise. All right, well, thank you guys for joining me today. Unafraid, right or wrong. Tomorrow is the Unafraid show. Anonymous emails. Send them in, unafraidshow@gmail.com. I will answer them per usual, and they will be great per usual. Thank you guys for joining me. All right, we will catch you guys tomorrow.